Okay guys, so now I have the car taken apart. I'm going to do this in sections so it's easy for you guys to reference back to and show you the way I do it. What you're going to need is a 1.5 millimeter nut driver, 2 millimeter nut driver, 5.5 millimeter, and just the 2 picks. So let's begin by going ahead and, like we did on the bottom of the chassis, we're just going to get the excess dirt off of this. Just kind of going around like this. Try not to scratch anything. I know it's probably hard, especially because this mud is just caked on here. And you don't have to go crazy and get all of it, but you just want to be able to get some and just knock it off the surface. Just kind of shake that out as you go. Okay, now that we've kind of done that and got a little bit of that off, next we're going to go ahead and remove this nose piece of the body. Take the 2 millimeter nut driver and go ahead and take that off. Set that to the side. Now you're going to want to take your 1.5, come from the bottom, this little screw. You're going to want to loosen it until it's a little bit farther out than flush out of the bottom of the chassis. Same thing with the other side. And this tool right here, I forgot to mention, I had to go grab it, but this one helps a lot. You can just grab these right here and just kind of sort of wiggle it out like this. And eventually it'll come out. Then you should be able to take your finger and pull it the rest of the way out. And these I'd like to soak in the WD-40, the penetrant, so that way they just get all the dirt and stuff off. This right here will prevent any rusting of them or anything like that. It's just really good to do. Follow this with the other one. Then take the 5.5 millimeter nut driver. Okay, now once we have those back on, what we're going to want to do here is go ahead and begin cleaning this. And how I like to go about this is first just go ahead and begin and soak it with Simple Green. However you want to dilute it, or if you just want to use it straight up, it's up to you. And I just go ahead and I'll spray the whole thing. Just make sure you get it soaked really good. I'll begin to take one of my toothbrushes, normally the dirtiest one I have, and go ahead and get this dirt and stuff off that's all stuck on here. And you'll probably still need to use the pick to get some of the other hard stuff off that won't want to come off. In between doing this, you're going to want to take the water hose and rinse the toothbrush out, as it's going to want to get really dirty. Okay, once that's done, take the water hose and go ahead and rinse the whole thing off. What I like to do is just go over it one more time. Go ahead and spray it down again. Wherever you see there's still dirt, go ahead and scrub that again. Bottom of these A-arms. You hear like gunk, that's what we're trying to get out right now. Okay, and then once that's done, go ahead and spray it off again. You're gonna want to take the air hose. You're gonna blow all of the water off. So I went ahead and I finished blowing everything off after I cleaned this again. One thing to note, you want to make sure you level this up, and inside of here you want to make sure you blow out really well, because water will stay trapped in here and you don't want that at all. As well as make sure you blow in here really good where all these bearings are, especially inside the diff and just all the normal places, and blow out all the screw holes and just everywhere. Now once that's done, what you're going to do is take the WD-40. I use the big blast for this because it just gets everywhere and it's just easier than using the little bottle. And what you're going to do now is you're just going to spray the whole thing. And then I'd like to take the other little bottle I have, and I'll go in and I'll spray in here really well. And what that does is that helps to ensure that no water is going to stay in there. It just helps force all the water out. And this is also going to make the plastic look really good, like it's new still. So it's just kind of a win-win for everywhere. So you don't have to do this and take both bottles have one different nozzles, but it just really helps. Now once you have all this on here, what you want to do is let that sit for maybe 30 seconds or so. And you're going to take the air hose and blow it all off. What you are going to want to do, since you did just rinse this off of water hose, is go into each of these bearings. Whether you want to take this off or not, it's completely up to you. It depends, again, how you're servicing the car is exactly what you want to do. Like I said, I'm going to take this diff apart afterwards and go ahead and service it and change the fluid. But you may just want to take a drop of oil or two and just go into these bearings and possibly even take the bearings out. Would not hurt. Okay, and then you're going to take a rag, microfiber, anything. It's just a rag I had cut up recently, and just take and wipe everything off. Again, you're just getting all the excess off. Okay, now once you've done that, as you can still see, there's still, it looks wet on the inside. I'm going to go ahead and blow this off just one more time. Everything else is really good, and everything else is protected. Now you're going to want to go back through and just thoroughly wipe each inside of these. I just didn't do it for time's sake of the video, but everything is moving freely now. All this spins nice. All that does, you don't hear any grit in there. It's just very nice. Okay guys, moving on to the back of the car. This is going to be essentially the same exact way as the front, just with the wing. So now you just watch me clean it. Now I'm just going to do the normal process, blowing it completely dry, spraying it with the WD-40, blowing the rest of the WD-40 off, and then wiping it and making sure I get all the grit out of it. And then we'll move on to the next step. We have the front and the rear of the vehicle clean. Now we're going to continue on to this part, have the body, the wing, the tires and wheels, some just various items in the shocks. So what we're going to start by doing is going ahead and spraying everything with Simple Green. Just go ahead and get front and back of that. We're on a hill, so those are going to want to roll. Okay. And I'm not going to do the tires yet. I'm just going to leave those. I don't want those to soak for too long. And then for all this, we'll just kind of repeat the process we did. Start with this, just getting all the dirt off. Begin with the shocks. So I just take the toothbrush to these a little bit to get some of that off. You may want a longer haired brush, such as something like this, just a nail brush. Just helps get in there on all those spots the toothbrush can't reach because the bristles just aren't long enough. And just pull that up if I can get it and take that off. Won't hurt to take them apart at all. Same with the shock. I forgot to mention you can blow this off as well. Okay, now following these little pins that you grabbed out of the A-arms that hold the shock in, I sprayed these with Simple Green. What you want to do is just hold them in your hand, run over them with a toothbrush a few times just to get all the excess dirt off of them. It may fall out, it's fine. You're just going to want to make sure you get all that grit off. Okay, and once you've done that, you're going to want to rinse them. Okay, and once they're rinsed, just give them a nice quick blow off. Okay, and what I like to do with these little pins, you get a tray. This is just a magnetic tray. And set those in there. And then I'll take and spray this WD-40 penetrant on them. You don't have to do this, I just do it to ensure that they don't rust or anything. Just keep them lubricated. Kind of put it in a corner where they're all kind of nice and soaking in there. And then I'll set this leaning up on the side like this until I go to put them back on the car, and then I'll take them off and just wipe them. Now as far as the body goes, just take the brush and just wipe over the whole thing. will stain if you don't clean it very well. I mean, I'm sure it's not a problem because you're not really going to be looking at the inside of the car and body, and no one else will be, but I just like to keep my stuff clean, so this is how I do it. As far as the wheels go, just spray it a few times everywhere. Then I take this big brush and I go over the wheels really well. If there's any on the tread, I go over the tread. Usually the tread will come clean, spraying off with the hose like I've already done with these, but and then all of this, get in here with that. Then you may want to take like a little paintbrush and get up in here. Just help you get the rest of this dirt out. You don't want to throw your wheels off balance or anything. And if you need to, if you don't think it's coming off, take a toothbrush and rub in there really well. Just get all in there, and you can spray it off. Take your blow nozzle and go ahead and blow in the holes that you have in the tire if you have any. And see, it'll just balloon it out like that, and it'll help push all the water out. Okay, and then once you're done with that, you can go ahead and let this air dry, and then you're done with the wheels. Now, go ahead and we're going to move on to the next step. So, last part we're going to be cleaning with this method is going to be the chassis, the gas tank, and this little plate I had on the bottom of the chassis. First off, what we're going to want to do, like we've done on the other ones, is try to get this dirt off. So once you got all that off, you go ahead and take your simple green, go ahead and spray this. And take your toothbrush, just go ahead and scrub everything and agitate it. Now for this, I'm just going to go ahead and run over it with a big brush, because there's just so much area to cover. And just need to rinse it. And once you think you've got everything off, just go ahead and look back over it and make sure. Then you're going to go ahead and dry it off. WD-40. You don't have to let this sit, because it's not really going to go into anything. It's just metal and plastic on this one. Well, everything's metal and plastic, but this really doesn't have anything to go into, like all those bearings and screws and stuff. So you just go ahead and right away and start wiping this. Then once you wipe all that excess off, go ahead and give it just a little bit more. And then after that, this is what the final thing will look like. Again, if your chassis is not this messed up, it won't look like quite as bad as mine, but this one's seen some better days. And I go ahead over to the fuel tank, toothbrush. Just kind of repeat the same type of process. Go ahead and get everything on the bottom, just everywhere. Make sure your screws are in here really good so you don't get any water or dirt or anything in your fuel tank. Rinse it. And go ahead and blow this. Again, for this, I normally won't spray it with a WD-40. What I'll do is just kind of damp a rag with it, and I'll kind of wipe over just the plastic pieces just to help give it that new plastic look. For right now, I'm not going to do that, but that's just normally what I do. If you want to spray the whole thing down, that's completely up to you. I just normally don't do it that way. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that walkthrough of me cleaning the car and showing all the steps and process I use for that. If you have any questions that weren't answered in the video, please leave a comment down below. I'll be happy to answer them any way I can. As far as the next video goes, it's going to be the reassembly of the car and every step I use to put it back together and make sure everything's done right. Please subscribe for that video, and if you like this one, then please leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one.